episode of OATS UNCUT, Orator Academy Talks Uncut. We are unscripted, unfiltered, raw, organic, honest conversations. Why? Because life is easier and simpler and more pleasurable that way. Today I have the pleasure of the company of a very inspiring young lady, Priya. Priya, welcome to OATS UNCUT. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much, Vineeta. It's a pleasure to be here.
My pleasure to have you finally, and I apologize if I hounded you and forced you to show up here. But the reason I wanted to have this lady here is because I've been following her journey. You know, I strongly believe in when you see something, do something about it. If something breaks in front of you, fix it and be the change. So first, that is something you'll hear from her, how she has done that in her life. She saw the need and she created a solution for it. The second thing that she did was something very brave. She pivoted mid-career, and we all shudder at the thought of, I can't let go, because if I leave this, then what happens? What if that other thing on the other side doesn't work out for me? But only a few brave ones have the heart to tackle danger and come out with flying colors. And like I was telling Priya, on the wall behind, there's a poster which says, "A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor." So let's hear from the horse's mouth, or this pretty young lady's mouth, as to what her journey has been like. Priya, introduce our viewers and tell us where you were, what happened that brought you where you are, and that I was compelled to call you.
This was such a lovely introduction. So thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I am Priya Prakash, as Vineeta introduced. I will go back memory lane to tell you what inspired me. This goes back to my childhood. I have a very, very dear dad who was a single parent. I lost my mom at a very young age. And my dad had a fairly demanding job. But I have really fond memories of how much effort he used to put into making sure that he is, of course, completing his official duties, but coming back on time, sharp at 5, and making home-cooked food for us. And the days when he could not, he would find people and make sure that we had simple food that was important for our health. And that stayed with me for a very long time. Fast forward to now, I'm a parent, and I had a fairly demanding but extremely exciting job in New York, and I was commuting. I had, of course, 2 daughters. And wanted to strike that balance that all of us are striking to.
We all seek that balance, don't we?
Yes, we all. And so it was just getting very, very hard. And I started to find it very difficult, both in terms of time and energy, to come back home after, just a whole day worth of work and still being equally committed and creating or making food for our family. Mm-hmm. And I started seeking help. And I learned that it's just so hard. I had so much appreciation for what my dad did back then when he chose to raise all 3 of us single-handedly and just balance work and life. Mm-hmm. So I started looking out, and I realized that it was very, very hard to find all these individual food creators, right? Restaurant food back then was not our first choice. It was more like a treat. Yes. Once in a while, but we always were so health conscious. And even now, I wanted to have the same, food for my children and my family. Mm-hmm. And I learned that this market itself was extremely fragmented and unorganized. Mm-hmm. It was hard to find these people. Once you find them, then it was very hard to, just have the whole setup of delivery, pickup, or payments and order taking and so on and so forth. So, it just was a, eureka moment for me that I have all my life, my 18 years of career, have been using technology to solve people's problems. And why not use that skill set and solve this problem myself?
Right. So your eureka moment was that. And my eureka moment when I decided that I must meet her and call her on the platform of OATS UNCUT was when I ordered something from what she has created. I placed my first order to test it out since I had already started hearing so much about it. The person who came to deliver, now there was a minimal delivery charge, but it said if you tip the driver, they'll be happy. Like anywhere else you go or whatever, at a restaurant or delivery, if you tip the driver, they'll be happy. So I had a slot assigned to me and I was waiting for the driver to come. When the driver came, went running to tip him. He was grateful. He typed on his phone saying, I am deaf and mute, but happy 2025. And something inside of me, even actually right now as I think of it, actually makes me a little emotional because I felt that he had something that made him feel useful.
Yeah.
And that really compelled me. I said, okay, who is this person who's thinking beyond the limits of just basic need? So continue.
Yeah, so no, that's such a sweet story, and I'm so happy to hear that you had such a great experience. That was what drove me to, you were talking about making a change in life or pivoting. That was the moment where it started off from a very basic need that I had of balancing career with health and good food. But along the way, I realized that there are just so many super talented people who just didn't have the confidence that they could take that plunge and fulfill their culinary dreams of maybe someday opening up their own little food business
or the network maybe.
Yeah, or yes, and that's when people took the leap of faith, started joining the platform, and now it gives me immense happiness that a lot of them who were not very confident or did not probably believe in themselves took the plunge and now are some of the most popular chefs on the platform.
So this platform, I don't think we've even mentioned the name.
Yes.
Plug in the name of the...
Yes, absolutely. So the startup is called Wanna Eat. It is a marketplace for individual culinary creators. They can come from any walk of life. You could be a full-time chef or part-time, but this is a marketplace that we've created for local foodies and local customers who can easily find this amazing culinary talent and get simple, healthy food for themselves and their family.
Yeah, and I see that now that I occasionally scroll through the app. The app is pretty actually easy to use. And it's very comprehensive, it's easy, so you don't feel intimidated as to how to navigate your way around it. And I was looking at the profiles of chefs. There's all kinds of different cuisines on it, and desserts also, and baked goods, and Italian and Mexican, and lots of cool stuff is happening there. So since I met one of the chefs personally at an event, and a retired lieutenant colonel.
Right.
And now you come from the army background. Your father has served in the Indian Army, and so has that lady. And then she comes here. Now she's retired. She comes here and spends time with her son. And she has a skill. She has the skill to make amazing food. So now she's leveraging that skill because she has a platform provided to her. So it's working in so many different directions. It's the network to get food yourself to eat. Then it's finding the best chefs possible, and then the delivery people who come into play, and basically cut the boredom of eating the same cooked things that you make yourself and not paying as much as going to a restaurant maybe.
Yeah, that's very true. In fact, I'll give you one more story where there was a chef who is also specially abled in terms of she can't speak or hear. But she's good with technology, and she's an amazing cook. She is actually Peruvian, but married to a Gujarati who she met at the deaf and mute school.
Aww.
And it's such a beautiful story. And she came to me, approached me and said, this is probably the best platform for me because I cannot communicate to customers, but I have this talent and I don't know what to do with it. Amazing. And it had been almost 15 years that she had not had any employment. This was the first time through Wanna Eat that she was able to make her first earning and a career. And it's just so gratifying because, she gets the orders and makes amazing food and gets amazing reviews. And she's so happy when she reaches out to me and she says, Priya, I got another review on the platform.
That's
so
amazing.
It's very, very special. There's another one who is a chef. She is from a well-to-do family. But the first time she hit her first 100 orders, she pinged me and she said, Priya, this is just a new identity for me. I always thought that I could only, manage a home and raise a family, which was amazing too. But I was always looking for that, something that I do for myself. And and she's now become such a sought after chef on the platform that
That's amazing.
every time that she gets a review or she gets orders, I'm just very, very proud of the fact that she took that plunge because she thought that she couldn't do it herself, but Wanai became that vehicle for her.
So how was your journey when you started out? How did you navigate around convincing people about the validity and need for this kind of a platform and app? How did you convince people? How did you get started? Because I remember, I think I mentioned to you when we were talking over the phone that I saw your table at one of the Diwali events.
Yes.
And even I had that question, but I didn't stop by at the table, unfortunately. But I had the question, I wonder what that is about.
Yeah.
But so how did you break through and make people realize that they need it? So how much time did it take you to get to where you are now?
So it's actually a very fascinating journey where I take a lot of learnings out of my corporate career as well. So I know I'm a startup founder now, but there's a lot that I learned in the 18 years. I was a product manager leading the data platforms for Capital One Bank before I jumped into here full time. So had been solving people problems through technology always. And the product management mindset came around, which essentially starts with the fact that you really don't create solutions in your own ivory tower. You actually connect with a lot of people. So even before I got started building anything, I connected with a couple of chefs to understand, how is their journey like? Is it a smooth sailing? Is everything easy? What is their process like? So I actually sat with them to understand how do they take orders, how do they receive payments, and so on and so forth. I also connected with a lot of customers, just friends around, just to understand, am I the only one who has this problem or there are other who have these problems too? And there was a great connect with the fact that there's a lot of patterns I was seeing with people choosing to be more healthy, people choosing to customize their food, people choosing to eat more greens or things of that nature, where they wanted it to not be very restaurant like food. So we do a lot of empathy research that way. And I also started reading a lot of research paper. So one of the research papers that I stumbled upon was from Harvard, which said that only 10% people in the US love to cook.
Oh, wow.
Yes. 45% people hate cooking and 45% just make do with it. So
I think I'm in the second one. I make do with it.
You make do with
I
it.
can cook to survive.
There you go. So there's a lot of research that should go into when you're taking such a big plunge.
That's interesting.
And making sure that you're grounded in reality of like what is the need out there that you want to go solve. And then of course there is a bit of the there is a purpose and a mission to our company as well.
What is
which
it?
is we want to make a meaningful impact on the health and the financial well-being of the society. Health for our customers and financial well-being for our chefs.
That's fantastic.
So we are a purpose-driven company, and we started with that, and we also started with making sure we did our ground level homework on, well, this is a need, and as we got along, customers started to really try out the service and start enjoying it.
So it is, you are taking care of the chefs, you are taking care of the clients, providing healthier food options. But in terms of monetizing it for yourself, is it a money-making venture for you? Because you quit your job. It
Yes.
has to be worth quitting your job.
Yes. So there's when you start off as a startup, it definitely starts with a place of making sure that you have the conviction that this is a platform
That's where
that
you are
is
at.
going to
Conviction.
and that there is a very important need that you're going to go solve. There are a lot more things that we do along the way to make sure that we do a product market fit. So first there's an ideation, the next step, and I know I'm going a little technical here.
No, I love
so
it.
bear with me. But once you launch, which we did 18 months ago, we did that in Melbourne Short Hills, and we do a market analysis to understand that, hey, will this work? Is this something that's sticking? And if not, I was ready to like pack my bags and go back to corporate world. But there was tremendous response that we received from those towns. And then we expanded to Livingston, and now we are in 11 towns. So it all depends on the validations that you keep doing constantly on the solutions that you're building, and also just connecting with the customers and chefs. I still end up doing at least 2 or 3 deliveries every week, because the rest are done by the team, but I like to connect with the chef when I pick up and know how's it going, what can we improve. And same then when I'm delivering to a customer, I have a conversation with them and like, how's the app, how is the end-to-end experience?
Right, absolutely. Absolutely.
And just learning from all of that and making sure you keep tweaking and keep growing and keep improving.
So no chef has ever come to you and said, I'm not tech savvy, I don't know how to navigate around this app. Has that happened, or they find it easy to work with also?
They find it easy to work with. It's actually very, very seamless. And that are more principles around product management where we actually do a lot of design thinking with them, show them the mocks, the UI designs. And I've had so many meetings where I have been in long walks with customers and chefs, shown them the UI, and I've said, how does it look like? Which button would you click?
UI as in user interface.
Yes, sorry. Yes. And so there's a lot of science that goes into it, and I have a lot of appreciation for all that I learned over the course of time that I'm using in my startup.
And it's just the initial hesitation when you take on something new. And I'm sure the chefs who may not be as tech savvy probably have learned something new now and feel more comfortable with technology just because their whole business is operating on technology.
That's true. And the beauty of all of this is that we do a lot of hand-holding initially.
You have to, I guess.
The value that we are trying to create here for our chefs is that we are here for you every step of the way.
Oh.
So we do a demo of the entire platform to them. The first time that they do the delivery, one of our personnel goes there, helps them pack, and helps them measure the food, helps them make sure that the garnishing is right and all of that. So if they are seasoned, whether they're seasoned or they are completely a newcomer, we help them every step of the way. And after that, they're just so hands-on that now they're doing so many more orders that I keep getting these messages. I hit 200. I hit 500. And you realize that they were just so nervous back then when we were initially giving them a demo. But that is the value I want to create. That it should not be just a number that you have to call and you're never able to even get through it.
No, your marketing is pretty spot on. I mean, apart from the app that I keep getting pop-ups from because I have the app on my phone, it's also the WhatsApp group I'm on.
Oh, okay.
Where you keep publishing menu after menu,
Yes.
I think pretty regularly. So it catches your eye. So the strategy is pretty spot on. But how do you find the delivery people? How does that come about? How do you recruit them?
Right. That's an interesting question. So on that, we have a hybrid model. The hybrid model is in a way that we, in some towns, want to, as we are recruiting local chefs, and just so all of your audience understands, Wanna Eat is a marketplace which is creating hyper local markets everywhere. So the local chefs are feeding the local foodies, and then when we go to another geography, the local chefs will feed the local customers there. Now, in doing so, we also have a model where we want to recruit local drivers in the same town so that we can invigorate the economy of those local communities through the chef, customer, and the drivers that we recruit. So we do have a hybrid model. We hire drivers from the local community. We also have tie-ups with regional and national players so that we can scale faster.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so inspired. So basically what I'm doing right now is that I had never met this lady before. I had heard about her and I had watched her journey and growth a little bit. And I wanted to get to know her better and understand how she has been traversing this path. So what's the better way of doing it? Invite on OATS UNCUT. So we both get to know her better together. Well, is there anything else? Actually, before I even go towards closing this conversation, tell me, you talk beautifully. You are communicative. You're not shy of speaking to people. I mean, you and I had never met, and I feel like I've met you a gazillion times before. So how do you think communication plays, what kind of a role does it play in any kind of business? You worked in the IT industry before, and now this is a whole different ball game, a whole different experience, a whole different way of interacting with your clients. How does communication come into play, and how important do you think it is?
Communication is paramount, and not just in my startup world. It's everywhere. Funny story. I was the first time we were promoting Wanna Eat. We had a street fair set up. And it was very, very nerve-wracking to talk to people. And they are passing by and you want to have a conversation with them, tell them about the company. And it was extremely uncomfortable.
Of course.
And I probably the first half of the day, my energy was just sapping down that this is not going anywhere. I'm not doing a great job. And I have so much to talk about to people. But it was just so awkward. And then I got my guard down. I just thought that maybe let me just go out. I was standing behind the table. I went out and I'm like, I'll make nothing out of this day if I don't talk to at least 5 people. So I just created a target. I said, there are probably going to be, I don't know how many thousands of people who are going to pass by. But I put a very small target for myself. So I said, let's talk to 5 people, Priya. And I just started talking. And I learned that slowly my confidence was growing. And I was just getting more comfortable in my skin.
Absolutely.
And of course, I can speak for hours about my startup. So that came easy. But still, I think approaching people, approaching strangers and talking to them, they come from a space of empathy and you will really enjoy the conversation. Just be yourself. And that has helped in terms of just interacting, not just with people in like street fairs who are not known to you, but even talking to chefs, as you were talking about. How do you convince even customers to use this service? And we recently did a pitch competition. We came, second runner-up there. Everything requires communication.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
And I think everybody should be working on this skill because it is just so important.
People should know what you bring to this world. And they will only find out if you speak.
True. Very true.
So speak or forever hold your peace. Right? Then we can't complain that I'm so smart and I'm so skilled, but nobody gives me the time of the day. So definitely, I think communication does help us professionally and personally. So you did the right thing. You set a small target, 5 people, that's all. And you ended up creating this whole big world of, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of people right now. So Priya, you are an inspiration. I wish I had the opportunity to meet your other partner,
yes.
your husband who's a partner also. But since he's out of town, maybe we'll have him another day when the business is... But you may not give me time of the day then. But I think you may have inspired some young minds who are afraid of testing the waters or questioning themselves. or just afraid to take the plunge and explore something new and pivot in life. It's all about how much heart you have. Like she said, it comes from a place of empathy and need and understanding and just good networking, solid networking. So thank you. You are an inspiration not just to us, to your girls as well. I'm sure they must look up to you and say, my mother is so cool.
I wish.
They must secretly say that. I can guarantee that. But thank you for sharing your life story, and keep growing. We'll be following your growth.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And you yourself are such an inspiration. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Priya. I'm very humbled. This is OATS Uncut. Thank you for tuning in today. Stay tuned for more such inspiring conversations, real, truthful, organic, and very us. That's all. We bring you as we are. That's it. Take care of yourself. Eat healthy food. Bye-bye.
Thank you.